What's going on, everyone? So the San Antonio Spurs take on the New Orleans Pelicans in a game that you got to win, right? Right now on this road trip, you got the first win against Orlando, which that game takes a couple years off your life, right? But you ended up taking an L, following up against Cleveland in a game that that was a rough one, right? Because it's like you felt like, hey, Spurs might actually do this, be 2-0 on this road trip. That'd be fantastic. Cleveland's kind of struggling a little bit. Cleveland kind of desperately needed this win. You're on the road. You get in there, and then ultimately they end up having that crazy quarter, and you end up falling too far behind, and then the game's over. You blink, right? And I talked about how, it's something that is of concern for the Spurs, right? Giving up these like big, ridiculous quarters, particularly in the third or fourth quarter. We've seen it a couple times already. Seen it a couple times in the last 10 games or so, right? Minnesota is one that comes to mind, things like that. Got to do a better job of closing quarters, coming off of the break in, better preparation stuff. I mean, that's on the coaching to kind of keep guys invested, keep guys motivated, right? Because, usually a lot of times who wins the third quarter usually wins the game, right? Like, especially if it's a tight game and stuff like that, because that's really kind of, you get into the halftime, teams are making their adjustments, teams are making their changes, they're trying to put themselves in a position, and you win that third quarter, all of a sudden, you're in great shape. So, need to see the Spurs kind of be better. All right, at the time of recording this video, we don't know what's going to happen with Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, guys like that. They are out, at least again at the time of recording this video. Maybe we got some updates. They did participate in a full practice. So, who knows? I imagine Spurs, again, are going to be a lot more cautious, a lot more patient with Wemby and Castle. Maybe Jordan McLaughlin comes back early, but Wemby and Castle for sure. I imagine the Spurs aren't going to rush that. I imagine that they're going to take their time kind of getting those two back. But regardless, more likely than not, I think realistically, maybe the Lakers game, that in-season tournament game. If not, then I could see something beyond that. Because then after that, you play the Wizards, shortly after that. So if Spurs can kind of get that in order and get everything together, then all of a sudden you could look up and, also if they win the in-season tournament, then you could kind of play that. So again, lot of potential, a lot of things that could happen and kind of fall into place. But starts with one game at a time. And your first game, your first matchup is against the New Orleans Pelicans. So go in there and handle business, right? This is a team that you absolutely should be. This is a team that is not a very good basketball team that, is struggling mightily, but they're at home, right? You're on the road. Yeah, they're still an NBA team. They're still a basketball team, still a team that can absolutely kind of just, again, the teams get hot, all kinds of stuff. If you fall asleep at the wheel, you could end up losing that game, and now you're looking up, and now instead of being ahead on the road trip and be up 2-1 on this road trip, now all of a sudden you're 1-2 heading into that Laker game where now you could be 1-3. That's not where you want to be. You want to be in the position where you beat the Pelicans, handle business against the teams that you're supposed to be. Again, Spurs have done a really good job of beating the teams that they're supposed to beat this year, so I trust that they will. But that's the idea. You beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. Then that trickles in. Now you're ahead in the win column. So if you end up beating the Lakers, then great. Now you're up 3-1 on this road trip. If you end up losing again, at least you washed, right? That's all I keep talking about. With these with these road trips, all I want you to do is just wash. That's it. Just wash, right? You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to go forward. Obviously, I'd love it if it happens, but again, context is important. You're missing key guys, 2 of your top 3 players on this team. All right, you're missing those guys. You don't want to rush those guys back or anything like that. How do you keep the pressure off from hey, man, Wemby feeling like, hey, I really need to get back type thing? You keep doing what you're doing. You keep rattling off wins, bouncing back off of losses. Keep talking about how do you respond after losses? Well, let's see. They took a loss, right? They took the back-to-back losses against the Warriors, right? And then 3 straight wins. Then a loss against the Suns, 2 straight wins. Then a loss against the Timberwolves, 2 straight wins. Now a loss against the Cavs. So now can they rattle off a couple more wins? Starts with the Pelicans, right? You got to get that first win first before you can go on a new win streak or anything like that. I kind of want more than just one loss, 2 wins, right? Because you're kind of treading, but nonetheless, right? again, you don't have Wemby, you don't have Castle, right? You're trying to just, again, tread water, stay afloat, keep your head above. Luckily, you had such a good start to the season that it gave you that kind of head start to where now it's just weathering. Just weather. That's all you need to do. Just stay afloat long enough to where, you can, when everybody comes back, you can start rattling off some wins here. And then now you really start to climb back into the standings. Because at least going into this game, right, you have the San Antonio Spurs are the 5th seed. Now, they're neck and neck between the Rockets and the Timberwolves, right? Like, basically, they're decided by half a game. Either way. They're only a full game back of the Lakers and the Nuggets for the 2 and 3 seed, right? Now, they did lose to the Lakers, so Lakers would have the tiebreaker. They beat the Nuggets, though. So right now, Spurs have the tiebreaker, right? So again, and they beat the Rockets, right? So you're talking about a Spurs team that right now currently has tiebreakers over those teams. The only team that doesn't is the Lakers. So if you can, look, I'm not saying they have to be the 2 seed or anything like that. No one's going to catch OKC. No one's going to do that. But again, OKC is beatable, right? So now you get in, you handle business. If you could squeeze into that 3 seed even, then that's perfect, right? This young team that's just kind of putting everything together, they're only going to get better. They're only going to improve. So again, that's kind of the idea. But like I said, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Starts with the Pelicans. Don't want to lose to the Pelicans. Now you're on a 2-game losing streak, and now you got to go play the Lakers. And if you lose that game, not only do you have the in-season tournament and it being ref like a playoff game and playoff style and all that stuff, but now you got added pressure because it's like, hey, we really don't want to go on a 3-game losing streak, right? Like, you don't want to start to fall too far behind. You want to keep, again, stay afloat. So that way, you beat the Pelicans. Now you got the house money. Right now it's like, okay, if we beat the Lakers, then boom, now we're really cooking. Now we're really in business here and can start, kind of putting ourselves in better position. But if it goes the other way and, the Lakers end up beating us, then fine, no worries. We kind of, take that lump, but at least we washed, right? Now we can get back to some home games before we got some more road trip games, stuff like that, and then start getting some revenge on some teams like the Cavs and stuff like that ended up beating you. So it's kind of the idea. Right? Hopefully they go in there, do what they're supposed to do. Can't take teams lightly, right? Again, it's an NBA team. Pelicans, yes, they haven't been great, but they're still a team that can light it up, do some damage, make some noise, do some stuff. So again, don't fall behind. Don't start, thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk. We've already smacked them, right? This is easy pickings because again, you end up kind of going in there and then all of a sudden it's a wrap. So handle business, do what you're supposed to do, go get that win. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear it either way. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.